Growing up with toxic family, part 19. There are wise men that'll tell you that when you got a 1 in front of a 9, it's something secret to be unfolded. But see, when you look at all 19 parts of growing up with toxic family, there's been secrets unfolded the whole time. We left off on part 18 with my sister taking all the money and leaving me and my family in this house with no heat, no money, no income. I had to figure a way to get us up out of that. And that's what I did. I got out here and sold drugs, got our heat back on. Our whole life changed. Now, when our life changed, everything around us began to change. We ended up leaving my mother's old house. After about a year, I decided to come back and fix my mother's old house up. Everything that we left in that house, we had accumulated since we was 15 was still there. We got a dumpster. Had some people come clean the house out. I had a contractor I knew. Came in and started working. Neighbors started talking about it. They was glad to see me back. They did not want to see my mother's house just sitting there rotting away. Family started talking about it. I was at my sister Lou's shop. Me and my sister Lou hadn't talked much since my mother passed away. But over the past year, me and her had been interacting. She had been helping me with a lot of things that I didn't know how to do. Now, she asked me about the taxes on the house. I explained to her I didn't know anything about taxes, and she said she would go and find out for me. I explained to her I'm going to be in Ohio. Just call me and let me know. Now, Lou had been interacting with our cousin Claudia. The one, if you recall, back in part 1, that my sister Trisha had this major war going on with her. Okay? People almost lost their lives behind Trisha's stories. Now, Claudia worked at the tax place. She found out the taxes on my mother's house had not been paid since my mother died. And the house had been lost from non-payment of taxes. Lou tells me this. And she told me also that they came up with a way for us to get the house back. We had to pay $4,000. Now, I tells her it's not a problem. I'll take care of it, or we'll take care of it when I get back to Detroit. Now, in the meantime, I'm in Ohio. People are still talking about what I've been doing at the house. The news get to my sister Trisha. Trisha contacts me. Mind you, I hadn't talked to this woman in years since they left us over there in that house with no heat. Now she calling me, asking me about what I'm doing with the house. So I tell her. And I tell her how the taxes ain't been paid since our mother died and the house was lost from non-payment of taxes. It's going to be $4,000 for us to get it back. This woman pauses. And all of a sudden, she go on this rant. Oh, they lying. They lying. house ain't been lost from no taxes. They lying. All they do is lie. That's all they do. They just trying to tell you that lie so they can beat you out your $4,000. Now, here's the thing about it. If you analyze the situation, my mother had been died at this point. My mother had been passed away at this point. It had been 8 years. No taxes been paid on the house in 8 years. Anybody that know anything about taxes on a house, if the taxes ain't been paid in 8 years, that house definitely been lost from non-payment of taxes. But here it is, she's saying they lying. Now, I respond to her, why they gotta lie to me? They ain't did nothing but help me. The only ones in the family that helped me since our mother been dead. Now, I say, look, everything that I needed help with, they came through for me. When I went to go buy a car, I needed help with this paperwork. When I wanted to buy an old school car, they showed me not only how to buy an old school, but how to buy one at a good deal. When I needed stuff for the house, furnace, cabinets, all kind of stuff, they showed me where to go get it at. When I needed all these other things that I didn't know how to do, they was the ones showing me how to do it, even down to the taxes on the house. Now, I told her also, they was going to buy a building, and they allowed me to go in half on this building with them. And we got plans on opening a soul food restaurant. We've been talking about putting the after hours upstairs. I said, they even helping me to find my mother a headstone, because this was one of the things my sister Trisha did. She got that money and didn't even get my mother a headstone. Now she's taking all this in and I'm telling her. And I go on to say, listen, they even helping me get some life insurance on me. And she paused. She said, you better not let them get no life insurance on you. I say, why not? She say, because they found James' brother in the trunk of a car. And can't nobody tell her they didn't have life insurance on him. Excuse me. Now, she goes on to say, yeah, see, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to finish fixing the house up. Y'all going to open up y'all businesses. And as soon as everything is up and running, they got life insurance on you. They going to find you in the trunk of a car. And they going to get the house. They gonna get the businesses, the building, and the insurance money off of you. And they gonna walk away like fat rats on you. Here's the thing about this. You gotta analyze this situation, because this is family telling this story about what other family is going to do to me. See, here's the thing about this. They did find James' brother in the trunk of a car. But here's the situation. James' brother was an abusive husband. When his son was a child, he told people when he grow up, he gonna take this man out. And at 16, that's what he did. And they found him in the trunk of a car, and And he got arrested and went to prison for killing his father. Everybody knew this, but me. I didn't know when she telling me this story. See, it was a flat out lie. And she knew it when she told me this. But because I didn't know, I took it as it was the truth. And this sent me into a psychotic rage against my sister and her husband. See, the first thought that I had, well, they trying to take me out, I'm going to go do something to them. But what is this about? It's about a lie. Here it is. You tell a lie so bad that you got family ready to go to war with family. But this ain't the first time. See, she done this back in '83 when my mother was sick on numerous occasions. The same thing. So here we are. It was about 8 years after my mother died, she doing the same thing again. Lying. Telling a story that family could have lost their lives behind her lie. But why? Ask the question, what do she gain from telling this lie like this? What is the point of it? See, here's the problem. Not only did she tell me the lie, okay, and I end up, stopped talking to Lou. I never went back and told them about the lie she told me. I just stopped talking to him. I said the hell with the house, the hell with what we was doing, and I ain't talking to them no more. And that's what happened. But even after me walking away, Trisha didn't stop. See, because I stopped talking to Ludin, but I didn't talk to Trisha no more after this for years. But when I did start talking to her again, I still didn't know it was a lie she had told me. But what she did, what did she do after? She was instigating the situation that she caused. She would come to me and tell me something that Lou said in regards to what happened back then. You see what I'm saying? A situation that she caused. A lie. But she's still instigating it. Family could have lost their lives. And she's still instigating it. Think about it. But she didn't stop there. See, because this happened over 30 years ago. But she been talking about this to everybody she talked to. Anybody she know that she talked to on a regular basis. She telling them this story. But what's she telling them? She telling them that I lived in the house all them years and I didn't pay the taxes. But also, I didn't tell nobody the taxes hadn't been paid. And my sister Lou came in and tricked me out the house. This is a story she telling people, even today. See, me and Lou all these years never even talked about this. We started interacting and talking years after this, and we never mentioned it. We never brought it up. I never told her about the lie that Trisha told me. We just let everything go. Whatever happened, happened. But see, Trisha kept going. Last year, my daughter come to me asking me about the house on Mount Clair. The house I grew up in. What happened to it? Well, why is she talking about it? Because when this situation happened, she was a newborn child. So why is she asking about it if I ain't never told her about it? But it didn't stop there. Because earlier this year, my niece Tish was asking her mama about what happened with the house. Because Trisha telling people, I lived in the house all them years, didn't pay the taxes, didn't tell nobody the taxes wasn't paid. And Lou beat me out the house. See, that's a hell of a story to be telling people, see. Because, see, this is why we're here talking about this now. Because she won't stop talking about it. Now, see, let's analyze this situation for what it is. My mother dies when I'm 13. All of her possessions go to me. House, money, everything goes to me. Trisha becomes my guardian. I'm 13. She my guardian. She got my money, getting a check from me every month. Who responsible for paying the taxes on the house? Huh? Think about it. 1983, my mother died. Who responsible for paying the taxes? 1984, 1985, 1986, 1987. Who was responsible for paying the taxes? She stopped being my guardian in 1987, 4 months before I turned 18. Here's the thing about this, is that, come to find out, the taxes on the house was only $45 a year. You think about that. One of my checks could have paid the taxes for 10 years. She took all that money and didn't pay a dime. So when she told me to lie, let's analyze this. This was about guilty conscience. See, you think about the conversation. Soon as I tell her the house was lost from non-payment of taxes, the first thing out her mouth is they lying. Guilty conscience. See, she knew she was exposed now. Because she knew she was responsible for paying the taxes. So she got to say, they lying. And that's why she throw in. They trying to beat you out your $4,000. Well, see, here's the thing about it. Because she hadn't been around me, she didn't know $4,000 wasn't no money to me. See, because I had just spent $4,000 on the transmission for a car. So $4,000 to get my mama's house back was nothing. But she throwing it out there like they trying to rob me. You see, and when she go on to say it, they gonna find me in the trunk of a car and they gonna walk away like fat rats. Well, that's a hell of a nerve, ain't it? See, when you know the truth about what this woman done, she talking about what they gon' do, but let's look at what she done. She left me over here for dead in this house. She walked away with a couple of $100,000 of mine. That's a big difference from a little measly $4,000. Again, she got a guilty conscience. conscience for what she done. So she gotta point the finger at them and say that's what they gonna do. They gonna walk away like fat rats. Well, what is you and your family doing? Because at that time, they were still living off the money. They walked away like fat rats, living good, shopping, traveling, buying new cars. Let me tell you something. When you sit down and you look at the truth about what happened, and she got the nerve to sit up here and lie about it still. See, she say Lou beat me out the house. See, let me tell you something. When this situation happened, my sister Lou, after I walked away because of Trisha's lie, my sister Lou didn't even want nothing to do with the house. She was like, the hell with it, you know? All she was doing was trying to help me. You see, she was trying to correct something that Trisha done. Trisha didn't pay the taxes, the house was lost. I didn't know nothing about taxes. Here come Lou helping me out, and Trisha tell the lie to cause me to walk away. See, Lou ends up calling my mother's brother in Kansas, Sonny. And she ended up calling my father's brother, Uncle Artie, in Oklahoma. And they both told her the same thing. Your father worked too hard for that house. If you got the money, y'all go pay them taxes and y'all get that house back and keep it. So when you analyzing this situation, this woman out here lying, but our mother's house would have been lost because of her. If Lou and them didn't have the money, the house wouldn't even be in the family like it is today. Because of Trisha. Because she didn't pay the taxes. Because of the lie she told when I came to try to correct it and get the house back. You know, see, it's a hell of a thing, man, because many people will hear this story and say, well, you know, it was a long time ago, you know, she did that, you know, she didn't mature, you know, she done got older and wiser. So she ain't did that no more. Everybody did something. Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. She did the same thing just a few years ago. When my Uncle Artie was sick and dying, she went down to Oklahoma, going to see him before he passed away. Ain't nothing out the ordinary. This is what family do. Now, she get down there, guess what she go down there and do? She telling them all these negative stories about all the family up in Detroit. Everybody. But at the same time, she was on the phone telling family negative stories about them. See, she talked about their house, how it looked. Inside, outside, all these negative details about how messed up their house is. But here's the problem with that. They was remodeling their house when she went down there. And more likely, she done popped up down there without even letting them know she was coming. It was last minute. Because who gonna invite somebody to their house in the middle of remodeling? You see? But she went down there and she talking about how they had pulled the towel up off the floor and ain't put it back yet. Well, damn, that's normally what people do, ain't it? When you want to change a towel, you got to pull it up first before you put the new towel down. And if you're doing it yourself and you work every single day, it's not going to be back down right away. It's going to take some time because it's your house. But she made an issue about it. She talked about the stuff that they had stacked up outside. When you think about it, you remind the house, where you putting the stuff at that you pulling out? You putting it outside most of the time out front, especially if you live out in the country. You gotta wait for somebody to come pick it up. But she made big issues about all of this. She talked about how they took care of my Uncle Artie, how they didn't cook for him. All they fed him was fast food. How ain't nobody taking care of him right. She talked about how his room looked, how his bathroom looked. She went into all these negative details about everything that she seen. And she talked about his son, little Artie. Talked about his wife, what they did, what they didn't do. See? And she went on talking about how they ended up at Artie's house. She said that they was getting ready to buy a house, and the house didn't go through for whatever reason. And that's how they ended up at my Uncle Artie's house. See, here's the thing about that. It sounds good. But when you look at it, she's trying to make it out like they not doing so good that they couldn't even purchase a house, whether it was their credit or they didn't have the money. You see? So that's how they ended up at Artie's house. You see? And then she goes on to talk about their jobs and what they're doing. But she don't stop there, because every time you look around, it's negative story after negative story about them, their children, how they live and everything. But then she say, yeah, Artie say he think they trying to kill him to get the insurance money and the land. This her talking. And you see how she done it? She didn't say she think, she said Artie told her this. Well, see, here's the thing. Lil Artie is this man's only child. He been with him since he's about 7, 8, 9 years old. He sent him to college. Artie went on to play pro football. At one time, he was playing for San Francisco 49ers. He retired football, went back home, got a job. He got a wife. She's an RN, works at the hospital. And if anybody is going to get the insurance money or the land and the house, it's going to be him. That's his only child. You see? But when she tell you this story, got you believing that they doing bad and they gonna try to take out his daddy to get the insurance money and the land, but he getting it anyway. So what's she doing? Again, making up a lie that family trying to take out family. What is this about? See, you gotta really look at this, man. Is this a guilty conscience for what she done? Huh? You think about it. What she done, I told you in part 1. She stressed my mother out so bad. My mother's last words to family, she want Trisha out her house. You think about that. With all the things that that she done since then. See, she walked away with all the money after my mother passed away. So she trying to say this is what everybody else trying to do. Because this is what she done. She got a guilty conscience about what she know she done. So she trying to put it on everybody else. Lou and James trying to take me out. Artie trying to take out his father for money. Because, hell, when we start analyzing this is what it adds up to what she done. My mother dies, she ends up lying and doing all this stuff to get everything. Left me over there for dead, me and my children. Ain't nothing changed. See, the issue here, these ain't the only lies that she telling about family. When you start analyzing every negative story that this woman has told about family for the last 30, 40 years, every single one is a lie. She got lies about family being petty thieves. That's a hell of a nerve. When you stole all this money from me, she got lies about family being liars. That's a hell of a nerve with all these lies she done told. She got lies about family taking out or trying to take out family for money. Well, that's because she guilty of it. Stay tuned. We ain't done, see? You better understand this. We just 10 years in the family secrets. We got 30 more to go of things that this woman done to family. Stay tuned. It's coming.